of what I consider to be the easiest and best kind of hacks, tricks, whatever you want to call it, to spice up your pentatonic scales. And they're very easy to implement, and it's just something that you could use to really bring something fresh and new to your pentatonic scales. Now, pentatonic scales are the most widely used scales across most genres of music. And today we're going to be applying these techniques and devices over a jam track. Jam tracks are an essential tool for the practicing guitarist, and you really want to apply what you're learning and practice them in a musical context, right? So the jam track we'll be using today is just a simple 2-chord change. It's just an E minor to C sus2. So for these examples, we're going to be using E minor pentatonic, all right, to show you these principles. So let me show you a couple scale positions to demonstrate these techniques. Right here, you probably know your basic box shape at the 12th position. And you have 3 E notes in that scale that you really want to try to keep going back to, resolving your licks to. And we'll also use the E minor pentatonic scale shape. That's 1 position back. That's this one. And that one has 3 root notes as well you want to take note of. Here, here, and up on the high E string. So the first thing we want to do to dress up this scale is let's add the 9th or the 2nd. In the key of E, the 2nd is an F sharp. Play it up high, it becomes the 9th. So let's add the F sharp note to the scale here and here. And that's a great one because that works 99.9% of the time, no matter if you're in minor key especially. No matter what you're playing over, that note is going to work. So it's a great note to add for a couple reasons. Because number one is it sounds so good. That 9th adds a lot of drama. I use it all the time. I love the way that it sounds. Especially when you resolve it back to the root. Keep in mind it's a whole step after the root. So that's an easy way to find it. So whenever you play it, just go back a whole step. You're right on your root note. So it makes resolving licks so easy and sounds so good. There's great things you could do with that note. For instance, you could bend from it. Like I'm bending the F sharp to the G. So it gives you that 3 note per string. Like I said, you could resolve it to that E note. Also, you could slide to the 15th, back to the 14th. It's a great way to use that note. Same way up here. You could slide from that F sharp to the G to your root. Or slide back. Remember, if you slide back a whole step from that 9th or F sharp, you're on that E note. It makes it so easy. And now, you're right in that other position I showed you. So you could kind of move back and forth between both positions. But it's such a great note to really throw in there. You could do, now because you have 3 notes per string, you could do, you know, licks like that where I'm pulling off 15, 14, 12. Kind of Santana-esque, right? And you can do that same thing on that G string, 12, 11, 9. Another cool thing I do with that is licks where you're playing off, like I bar the 12th fret with my first finger, use an upstroke on the 12th fret B string, then downstroke on that 9th, the F sharp, 14th fret high E, then pull off to the 12th. So real quick you get the 9th and the root in there. That's a good one because you could then do the same thing but do it on the 15th fret. You know, do it on the 17th fret. And you can mix them together. And do with a bend to the root. So let's put on the jam track. This is our first device that we're using to spice up the scales, right? We'll put on the track, I'll talk you through it, and you can hear how this sounds in context. I'll just stay in these 2 positions and talk you through some of those licks we've just played. Let's start on the 9. You can hear how that 9th adds that, right? You got that Nice resolution to the root and the drama from that note. There's some of those hammer licks I talked about. Let's do that fast Santana sounding riff. I used it here on the G string, 11th and 12th fret. Here I'm sliding from that 9th or 2nd to that flat 3rd. Whole step back is our root. Another device that'll be easy to incorporate into your lead playing. So the minor pentatonic scale has 5 notes, right? And most Western music scales are 12 notes. So there's 7 notes that you're not playing. Well, you could play those notes if you use them as slurs or kind of passing tones into scalar notes. And they really spice up your playing. So let's try that. So now are we not only going to add that 9th, but we're going to add a lot of other notes that you're probably not playing, right? If you look at that minor pentatonic scale again, right? So you're playing every note at the 12th fret. Well, what if you take the notes at the 11th fret and just slide them in? Like that E flat note is very much not in that scale, but you can use it. You could use all these notes if you bring them in passing. And then resolve them on strong scale notes, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right? Now obviously, if I play this E flat note at the 11th fret, it's very out there, it's very dissonant, and it doesn't sound very good. But if I quickly slide it from the 11th to the 12th, it adds a cool little bit of it. Notice I'm going from the passing tone into the scale note. If I do it the other way and you try to slide into a outside note like that, it's not going to sound as good, this one in particular. See, it's the ear hears the dissonance. If you do it fast like that, the ear only hears something that could be kind of cool, but doesn't have time to really pick the dissonance as if you hold it like that. So go into this, try it on the B string. Of course that sounds good. That's the 9th. We were doing that before, right? You do it on the D string. Now use all those notes in passing. Some of those notes are in other scales and modes, but if you're just looking at pentatonics now, it's a good place to start and just yank them in. Just half step, slide them in. Devices that really pack a wallop to really, add some spice to your pentatonic scales that anyone can implement quickly into their playing. Try it. Put on a jam track and just get lost in it. And you will quickly see how your pentatonic playing will take on a whole new life. I hope you enjoyed that lesson.